because you can't have enough DNS talks. I'm doing another one. Who has heard of the term local root in DNS context? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. You guys can get your coffee. I'll do this for the rest. All right. So what is local root? Local root is the ability, when you have a resolver, to take a copy of the root zone and host it locally. Root zone is very small compared to, let's say, .com or .fi for that matter. So it's a simple file, it's easy to get, it's short to configure, but there are some pros and cons, and I hope that this is an unbiased view of the pros and cons. So first a few pros, and I'll put some context there as well. It reduces your latency, right? If you don't have to send a query to the root servers, you don't have that latency. But it's only for the root servers. So it's a very small fraction of the total amount of queries you would send to the wider internet. You have resilience during network failures, but yeah, Anycast scaled as a cost, right? Sorry, Anycast scales very well. There's 100% uptime for root servers, but botnets, they cost nothing and they scale better. So that's what you're really fighting against. You have reduced dependency on external infrastructure, but that's only for the root servers. And again, that's a very small fraction of your traffic. And root servers have 100% uptime. I'm not really selling this, am I? You have reduced traffic to the root. Now, the root servers also are the one big filter on the internet. There's an enormous amount of nonsense going to, really, like 99% of traffic that goes there. I know this. I look at this kind of traffic all the time. ICANN runs one of the 13 root server letters, is one of the 12 organizations that do this. And our organization is also one of the very few one of these organizations that look deep into that data to understand it better. So there's a lot of nonsense going to a root server, and only the queries that make sense, those that end in the top level domain that actually exists, will get answered properly. So you have reduced root server traffic, but only if a lot of people are configured with a local root zone. You have better privacy, right? If you look at, I say harvested, that's basically a marketing trick. If I say mined, root server traffic mining, it's a lot more aggressive. So I'm using harvested. Root server traffic, it shows typos, leaked namespace, you can see application behavior, but the one thing I didn't show on the slides, it also showed leaked passwords, right? If you make a typo in your URL, when you type it in, right, or something goes wrong, and if there's automatic completion, you get a password in the root server traffic. What looks like a URL can actually be shown as a domain name. All right, then the cons. So we've now had the pros. The pros have a little bit of positivity to it. It makes things slightly better, but it comes at a cost. If you have a copy of the root zone, you need to synchronize it. And you need to do that often, hopefully daily. And you need to get it from somewhere. That somewhere isn't defined, right? You can get it as a zone transfer from some of the root servers, but not all. And if you ask them, some will have a response. We do this best effort, but we might switch off XFR at will if the traffic becomes too much. So best effort is not what you want. You want to have a consistent. Some of the root servers actually, root server organizations have a consistent provisioning of this. There's also this domain that you can use. It's internic.net/domains/root.zone. But I'm not sure it can handle internet-wide traffic. It's not the same as facebook.com. Stillness, if your root zone copy is not refreshed, it will get stale and it might fail. Luckily, some of the resolver implementations have a provisioning for that it just goes back to vanilla DNS. It only works for the root zone. The root zone is relatively small. If you do this for top-level domains, you cannot do this for .com. That's way too big. Also, you have less visibility for RSS operators. What that means is root server operators, they upload some DITL data, day-in-the-life data, once in a while. And that if you don't do that anymore, then if they don't get the traffic, you have less visibility. But hey, GDPR, maybe we shouldn't do that at all. Anyway, that's it. This is what you need to configure if you want to do it on your bind implementation. Thanks.
Thank you.